So you might be thinking, Kutski, you're finishing a little bit early tonight. We're not. I've got something extra special that we're going to wind up the show with tonight. So you'll know it's like, as much as take the piss, I love vinyl in the background there. Try not to buy anymore because it's like all of that I bought, like it's not, I didn't buy it after the fact. That I all bought when I was going down to the record shop and buying records to play out and stuff like that. So they've all got a lot of sentimental value. And it's not that any kind of elitist thing when people are real DJs play vinyl and all of that shit. It's nothing to do with any of that. It's just like personal nostalgia. Like I love playing old like Nintendo games from when I was little. It's just that I'm addicted to nostalgia. However, there are two tracks that have always evaded me when it comes to collecting vinyl. One of them is Hixie's mix of Toy Town, the vocal mix that he played at the start of Bonkers 1. Now, unfortunately, that's lost to time because it was never actually released. It was only ever pressed as a dub plate so that Hixie could play it on the Bonkers album, and I think he played it out at a few gigs. Once the dub plate wore out, because for those who don't know, if you press a dub plate, it's like a temporary record that's easy to cut. You can test out a track. You do that, but once you've played it about 15 times, the grooves get worn out, so it's like it's no good. So then, Hixie's lost that. That's gone. And he also doesn't have the DAT of the original. So that track's just like, you can hear it at the beginning of Bonkers 1. I've heard some people say that they've heard it on a couple of live sets and tapes and stuff like that. But other than that, that one's lost to time, so I've given up on that. The other one, very interesting track, an Italian happy hardcore track by Abigail, which links heavily into Hixie as well. Because I used to hear Hixie play it. Specifically, his set, I think it was the Last Ever Resurrection, the Banging Bunny show, he played the track. And it's not just the fact it's the track, it's a specific mix of this track that I always loved, that also happens to be one of the most difficult tracks to get hold of on vinyl. And it's even more interesting because the track was not widely available. So those who know, vinyls used to come out and you'd usually get one or two tracks on each side, and they do a bunch of different mixes and a bunch of different versions of it. And then usually all of those would be on the CD version as well. So now, even if the vinyls are lost, you can go and dig out the CD and you can, just rip them digitally, play it digitally. That's how we all do. That's what I've been doing for the last hour and a half. But with that Abigail, I Want Your Mind, the specific mix that I wanted was called the Alternate Mix 2. And that was the one that a lot of people play back in the day, or I heard on a lot of tapes how many copies of it were available. I don't actually know. That never made it to the CD. All the different versions, including Alt Mix 1, were on the CD, but not Alt Mix 2. And that's kind of the holy grail of vinyl collection that I've been looking for ages. And there's a couple of bootleg versions of it that are doing the rounds as well. I think back in the day. One of them is a 10-inch black vinyl with just I Want Your Mind, the name of the track on it. And I think it was one-sided 10-inch record. That's a bootleg. So basically someone just recorded the vinyl and pressed that to vinyl again. And then there's another version of it that's got a bunch of... I think it's got like 4 different happy hardcore tracks, including the Alt Mix 2 of it. But all of these are bootlegs. They're recordings of the vinyl repressed to another vinyl. And then there's the original one, which goes for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds, way more than it's like I can justify spending on a record. And I look at it and it's like, the chances of walking into a record shop now and find that, I know like how insignificant that is. Anyway, reason why I'm rambling on this massive thing is last month I got a message from our good friend here in the community when I was posting up my vinyl videos, and I was like saying, this is where the sample comes from, and then I got a message from our good friend Blowup Dave going, have you any idea where the sample on this one comes from? And he said, and he showed me that he'd got the Abigail, I Want Your Mind vinyl. And I was like, wow, fair play, man. Like, that's like, kind of the holy grail. I didn't know which version of it was or anything like that. And then Dave said, it's looking for a new home. Do you want it? And I was like, just spent £1,000 on a pushchair and it's probably going to be at least half of that for the record. I was like, how much? But it's my window of opportunity to get it. So it's like, so I messaged Dave. I was like, how much are you looking for it? And he was like, how about just a shout at the end of your show and some respect? And he said that he'd had his fun with it and he thought it'd have a better home over here with the community, with us, which is like insanely generous. Not just the value with the record that I've been looking at. It's like about €450 to buy it. I don't know what the quality of the other ones are like. Then David sent it to my parents in the UK because I didn't trust it on international mail. And then I went back this weekend and I picked it up. I haven't even listened to it yet. Now, what I didn't want to do was be cheeky or rude and say to Dave, like when he's offering me such an incredible gift, is to turn around and go, is it the one with Alt Mix 2 on it? or is it one of the bootlegs, or is it like a thing? So I opened up the package, excited to just have any version of it. It's the original pressing with Alt Mix 2 on the background. So do you want to have a listen to it? I'm dead excited about this, and I've saved myself all day. I've been pretty busy all day anyway, but yeah, as you can see, normally it's like you'll get the A side and the B side on the other side, and then sometimes if they do two versions of it, it'll be A, B, then there'll be another vinyl with C and D on it, and this one is H and Q side. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it, but the Q side is Abigail, I Want Your Mind, Alt 2. And look how pristine this record is. So yeah, should we do this? I don't know whether it's 33 or 45 RPM. I'm interested to know what it sounds like at zero pitch, because there's a version of it that's floating round, like, kind of like supposedly like, the ultimate quality recording of this, but it's a rip of the YouTube video that somebody's uploaded it to YouTube, and the version that I play in my sets when I've played it on the show has been, it's like somebody'd ripped that off YouTube and uploaded it and said that it was a vinyl recording, which it wasn't. I will record this to vinyl and give it to everybody on here on the stream. Like, I'm definitely going to do that, because I know that's piracy, but this record is so rare it doesn't live anywhere digitally, and this will get lost to time. I've even tracked down the original artist, and he said, isn't that mix of it on the CD version, the maxi CD? And I was like, no. And he goes, well, I don't know where it is then. So yeah, I'm going to find out whether it's on 33 or 45 RPM before I play it, just so it doesn't ruin it for you. Spoiler alert, it's the version that I've been looking for. Okay, yeah, there's nothing else to say other than that's like an incredible act of generosity. Blowup Dave, who supported me so much that I can't thank him enough for it anyway. But for him to kick this over to me, like, means more. It means more than the money personally, but even the fact that he could have sold it on. It's, yeah. So I'm just going to play it. Okay, you ready? It's cheesy, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And don't worry about me talking over it. These are all battered needles, so it's not going to be the best quality. And if you're trying to rip it off the internet, off this, then it's going to be no better than the YouTube that's floating around.
I want your mind.
I'll record it properly when I've got time, remaster it, tidy it all up, and make it as close to a perfect digital copy as I can get from a vinyl. And then I'll put it up as a 128-bit MP3 for you all to enjoy. Ha! I'm kidding. 256 or get to fuck. But yeah, I still remember it was the first time, you know, when you're allowed out with your mates. And me and my mate went to Blackpool for the day on a coach trip. I must have been about, 14 or so, I can't remember. Something like that. I bought some records from the record shop, Robbie Long and Devastate, I Wanna Rock being one of them, another of my favourite records in the collection. And I bought a tape pack, not even a tape pack, it was just a tape cassette of Hicksey's set from Resurrection that he played this on. And I remember listening to it on the way back thinking, what is that track? And it's just like, you know, it just turned into a massive hunt trying to find that record. So yeah, I can't thank you enough, Dave, for that. I really can't. That's one of those things that I genuinely resigned to my fact that I could probably get it, but it's just like paying stupid amounts of money, and it's like you don't know what the quality is going to be like. Is it the bootleg copy and all the rest of it? So to just have that in my collection, it's the cherry on the cake, the crown jewel of my record collection. So I can't thank you enough, mate. And I just noticed that you've gifted bits out to the channel as well. So yeah, that's just like incredibly generous of you, my friend. So yeah, before we all get too welled up and start crying and getting emotional and hugging each other, who should we raid on to?